Hi, everyone. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are joining us from. Yeah, we are here again for our season of MCP. So this time, this is our second series for this season of server. So, and we are here with another topic that will take us through MCP security. We're going to walk you through a comprehensive protection for AI systems. We all know that the vulnerabilities around AI is on the high side. Now the systems are way more vulnerable before, when there was no AI being rampant like this. Since, but then the adoption has been widespread in recent years, and then the rate at which attackers can attack our systems is high. So that is why we need to understand the structure you must put in place to safeguard your AI systems. And today is another day for us to speak about MCP security, providing you with a comprehensive protection for AI systems. And for these reasons, I will be bringing in our speakers. And the speaker we have today is no other person, is someone that we are very familiar with in the community level and even at the MVP level. And the person is Raphael Gabmomo. Hi, Raphael, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Raphael? So we have Raphael Gabmomo,
yes,
who will be
loud
speaking
and clear.
to
Good
us.
evening.
Thank
You, Imo. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, there's no problem. Thank you for confirming that. So we look forward.
You can hear me,
yes,
right?
I can hear you. Yes, sure, I can hear you.
What happened? Imo, you can hear me, right?
Yes, I can hear you clearly. Yes.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I don't know what's happening. Let me quickly restart my computer because this is strange. Okay, so guys, I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened. This is unexpected. Well prepared for this. Let me just restart my. Okay, I think you can hear me now. Imo, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
But I can't hear you. That's the problem. So give me 2 minutes. 2 minutes. I won't waste time. I quickly restart my computer and come back, please. Just 2 minutes. From my own end, everything seems to be okay. But let me just restart. Yeah.
All right. All right. I'm waiting for you right here. So, audience, now while we are waiting for Raphael, I would like to just speak to us about MCP. You know, MCP stands for Model Context Protocol, and it's a server that acts a trusted source for agents. When we are building our agents and building our AI models and all that, so we need an endpoint that is designed to, we need a server that handles everything authentication and manages all the API wrappers and within your agent and all that. So that's when MCP comes into play. And today we are going to learn about it in the way we can structure you can structure it in order to protect that open standard for your agent. MCP was introduced by Anthropic in around 2024. I think November 2024, if I'm not mistaken. And the aim is to standardize the way AI systems like large language model (LMs) integrate and share data with external tools, systems, and data sources. So it's really what serves as the backbone for our AI systems. And imagine if what is serving as a backbone for your AI systems are being exposed to the internet, and then you before you know, the man in the middle to take over your AI systems, and that will be very disastrous. So that's the essence of this section, making you to understand the various measures that you need to put in place to protect your MCP server, and in order to enhance its efficiency and capabilities. So just understand that MCP server is a standard protocol that governs your LMs and AI systems. If you have any chat or questions, you can feel free to drop them in the chat section. And when the speaker is back, he will do justice and all that. So also you by the Microsoft Azure Nigeria community, and you can do well to join the community and also contribute your quota and whatever you can do in your best interest, even if it's meant for you to share knowledge in a section like this, you're highly welcome. So I'll be dropping the meetup page to the community, the link to the meetup page where you can join, and you can as well follow us on LinkedIn to be able to stay up to date with our event that we do at the community level. And behind the scene, we have leaders who are part of the community who are making sure that things run smoothly. So if you would like to be part of those leaders, and you can always reach out to me on LinkedIn, and I'm going to be dropping the link to the community page, and also the link to my own LinkedIn. Should you want to follow me and get more information about this user group and how to become a member of the community, you can always reach out to me. So look out in the chat section. I just dropped the LinkedIn link to the page, to our community page. So I'm also dropping my own LinkedIn link, so you can follow me and maybe connect with me and get more information and insight about what we do here at the Microsoft Azure community in Nigeria. So while we wait for the speaker, I would like to maybe have any questions once again. Feel free to ask, drop it in the chat. So now I would like to talk to us about we just ask you random question around AI. We are doing a lot of stuff on AI, maybe leveraging Microsoft Azure or AI Foundry. Either you build your own models, or you train your models, or you fine-tune your model, or you use the pre-built model provided by Microsoft for free. There are over thousands of AI models. If you go to model catalogs on Azure AI Foundry, you're going to find a list of models that you can easily just integrate without having to create your own. So I will be dropping the link to where you can find list of AI models available on Azure AI Foundry for you. Oh, okay. The speaker is back right now. Raphael, can you hear me? Can you hear me now? I can see your screen, and I can also see you.
Okay.
Yes, I can hear you. Me? Yes, I can hear you, Raphael.
Thank you very much. Yes, thank you very much for holding the fort for me. I'm so sorry, guys, for that little glitch. Today, we're going to be talking about something very, very, very important. Yes, MCP security. Okay, so how to build trust and safety in AI systems. Yes, we will explore practical ways to make sure that threats are averted, and we're going to be using Microsoft security principles. Most importantly, the one that you already know, because I'm sure that most of you that are in this meeting, you are already aware of how Microsoft handles threat, zero trust. Okay, so that's what we are going to be focusing on in this talk. Okay, so I'm going to proceed. Just give me a minute. Let me show my entire slide. I'm going to go fully. Okay, so I don't know what's happening to my slide, but I think I'm going to proceed. Okay, so yes, as I said earlier on, we should not think of AI as as just the software. Okay, we should think of them as intelligent, autonomous agents that must be secured like digital employees, because this is 2025, and as you all know, that a lot of companies are building a lot of things on AI systems. Okay, now, yes, I'm going to tell you why AI needs specialized security. Okay, so as you all know, they make their own decisions. Okay, before this meeting started, we were discussing briefly. Emo and Promise in the background. We're talking about agents and how agents can. I had their conversation actually. I joined the meeting. We're talking about how different tasks needs different agents, and so also these agents, they think on their own. They think smartly, and attackers can manipulate these agents. They can manipulate them to do a lot of things. Okay, for example, if you tell ChatGPT to ignore safety rules in whatever you're typing, you all know ChatGPT will do it. Okay, so the game in 2025 has changed, and we need to learn these few things in order to hold forth. Okay, so just give me a minute. Let me see if I can fix my slide, and I'm going to speak. I'll be speaking from my. Okay, so I think I've seen it. Okay, so I don't. Okay, so I don't know how to do this. Oh my god, so sorry guys, I feel so clumsy. The button for, Imo, can you help me? The button for my slide is not. I want to show my entire slide, but I can't seem to be able to control it from my end.
Okay, so can you share your screen? This slide, okay, this is your slide.
Yes. What
So
do I? Oh, okay. I think I know. I need to
did you
control
upload?
it locally. Okay. So yeah,
Yes.
I think I'm okay now. Okay. So
Okay.
now, why does AI security? Thank you very much, Imo. Why does AI security matter? Now, before I asked Imo to help me, I was talking about agents. Now, these things think on their own. These things are smart. They make independent decisions, and because of that, they create new attack surfaces. Okay. Now, traditional security models, they will not protect. They will not protect these new things. As you all know, that 3 years ago, we didn't have anything like we didn't have anything like AI. Let's say 4 years ago, we didn't have ChatGPT. Okay, so we didn't have all these things. So because we are in 2025, we need to do things smartly. Okay, so think of AI as your smart bank that talks back. Okay, so let's say you're using your bank app and it's talking back at you, but it still needs locks and guard. Okay, so now Microsoft has this principle called secure by design. Now you do not now whenever you're building security, whenever you're building for security, you do not bolt it in, you bake it in. Okay, so for AI and AI agents, we need to make sure that security is built in and not bolted in. Okay, so now let's talk about the adversary's playbook. Okay, the key AI threats that we have. Okay, the key AI threats that are available. Let me go to the next slide. Okay, so the key AI threats that are available. One of them, the first one I'm going to be looking at here is prompt injection. What is a prompt injection? I've made it easy for us. You can see everything on the screen. There are about 6 of them, but the very first one is prompt injection. Now, you all know what a prompt is because you play with ChatGPT every day. Now, the reason why this is even so terrible is because before 3-4 years ago, it's only someone that can code that will do this. Okay, but in 2025, someone can use natural language and be finding a way to attack your systems. Okay, so that is why it is even more dangerous than we can ever imagine. Now, yeah, so prompt injection is forging fake instruction within a document that an AI is asked to summarize. Okay, so you use natural language, you give fake injection, fake instructions to the AI to work on something, and it's not cool. It's not cool at all. Okay, so now another one we'll look at is tool poisoning. Okay, tool poisoning is malicious data or scripts inside the API or plugin. We see another one too, session hijacking, when an attacker takes over a running AI session. Okay, there's still there are so many. Okay, so we also have excessive permissions. Now excessive permission is like when you are giving the security guard in your compound. Okay, you're giving him like the master key to your bedroom. What do you think is going to happen? So when AI has too much power, it can do so many things. Okay, so that's why we can even relate this to similar logic like phishing, but instead of phishing, it's going through conversation with AI. You're doing, yeah. So yeah, I hope that you're paying attention, because at the end of the session, I'm going to be asking you a few of these of these tools that a hijacker can use, that a malicious an adversary can use to attack whatever thing that you're building. Whatever thing that you're building in 2025. Okay, so a lot of my friends, like Imo, that is speaking, he's built very wonderful apps. Promise is building as well, and I'm building as well. So these are concerns for all of us that are in this space, because we know that before, it's only someone that knows how to code that can attack our systems. But with prompt injection, tool poisoning, session hijacking, token pass-through, excessive permission, these are risks that we need to look at in 2025. Like I said in the previous slide, one of the easiest way to work on this one of the easiest way to work on this and to prevent this is to make sure that you do not build security in, but you bake security into the process. Okay, so when you're baking security in, means you've already developed your app and you're trying to solve the problems that are happening. But instead of solving them when the app is already running, you build all the things that will make sure that each of these things that you're seeing on the screen does not run. Okay, so give me a minute. Let me move to the next slide, and we'll look at one of the best things that you can do in order to prevent this. Now, I'm sure that a lot of you that are attending this meeting, or if this meeting later on, you know that the first line of defense for Microsoft is, okay, now if you are doing anything in Microsoft and you don't know this, damn it, it's fine as well. Even for a new user, if you're watching anything Microsoft, you're watching this meeting for the first time, I want you to know that Microsoft's first priority is security. Okay, so you have zero trust for anything. And one of the core principles that they look at for this is authentication and authorization. Okay, now zero trust philosophy, no user or system is to be trusted. Okay, so no matter how good you are to me, I will not trust you. Okay, you can be a bad actor. That's the kind. I'm just using a real life scenario to explain this to you. Now, no matter how good the person is to you, how sweet they talk to you, you should know that the attack can come from them. Okay, so yeah, so you know what authentication is, you know what authorization is. So authentication is you showing that you have the permission to do what you're asked to do. How do you do this? What you have, what you know, what you know is username and password. What you have can be your ID card, and what you are is your eye, your thumbprint. So those are first basic things that you are supposed to know as someone that is working with this technology. So Microsoft uses authentication and authorization. So now, if you're wondering what is authorization, the thing that is going to do that thing, has it been given that permission to do it? Okay, so so you know that zero trust. Okay, so always verify who is calling an API. Okay, always verify that call has the permission to do that call. Okay, and we use Microsoft Entra ID for identity. Okay, now token JWS are like white keycards. They expire and they have limited access. Okay, so we can use them. We integrate JSON web tokens. Okay, so JWT JSON tokens. Okay, so they are good because they can expire and they have limited access. Now, if you introduce this, if you integrate them with Outlook, for example, no one will be able to delete your email unless they are allowed. Okay, so something like this is a good thing to consider when you're designing an AI system. Okay, so yes, we should have at the end of this session, this little session for this particular slide, what I just want you to know is that Microsoft wants you to have zero trust for anything, to make sure that you have at the back of your mind that anything whatsoever that is accessing your AI systems has that privilege and has that permission to do so. Okay, so yes, so let's look at the next slide. Okay, so how do we shield AI? How do we shield AI? Yeah, so what are the things that we can use to protect AI? Okay, so this is what we're going to be looking at. Just give me a minute. You see my slide already. Okay, so now we should do everything possible to prevent direct prompt and content attack. Okay, so direct prompt and content attack, whatever it takes us to do it, we should do it. We should use prompt shields, okay, to detect injection attempts. Now you know that the reason why these things that we're talking about is gaining so much popularity, like I said earlier on, is because you do not need to code. Okay, now yeah, there are tools. Yeah, I think I should not even go that route. But yeah, so the reason why these things are easy, okay, these things can easily happen is because you do not necessarily need to code before you carry out attacks that are related to this. So how do we make sure that we use we shield whatever we are doing against this kind of attacks? Those 6 attacks that I mentioned to you earlier. The first one is prompt shield. Okay, so use prompt shield to always detect injection attack. Now there is we can use Azure AI content safety to filter harmful input and output. Okay, so yes, Azure has built everything in we need for so if you look at AI Foundry, is the comprehensive place to go if you're dealing with anything AI in Azure. Okay, so Azure has built in everything necessary thing that we need in order to for our applications and whatever thing that we are doing. Okay, so there is also Azure content safety. So we'll make sure that we'll put all the things in place to make sure that our apps, our AI applications are safe as possible. Now, also, we should use GitHub Advanced Security for safe source code. Now, if you're a little bit, if you've been playing with these things a lot, you know that at the end of the day, you need to save your code in a source code repository. Okay, so you need to save your code in the most popular one that we all know, that we all work with, GitHub. Okay, so GitHub, as you also know, it's owned by Microsoft. Okay, Azure DevOps is owned by Microsoft. GitHub is owned by Microsoft. So this is why talking about this will not be out of context. Okay, so use GitHub Advanced Security, for protecting whatever you're sending to a source code repository. Think of those three guards that I've mentioned. Yes, one is checking the conversation, one is checking what is said, and the other is checking the source code. Okay, so the prompt sheet is checking the conversation, the AI context safety is checking what is said, GitHub Advanced Security, because yes, it's not only you that's going to be looking at this code. You want people to work on it. You want your teammates to work on it. You're going to put it in the source code repository. So even if it's private, make sure that GitHub Advanced Security is protecting your code. Okay, so yes, so with all this said and done, yes, we would be protecting whatever application that we have, whatever AI application that we're working on or we're looking to work on. Okay, so filter protection in real time, it's important. So the point number 2, you should always take a look at it. So let's move to the next slide, securing the foundation for whatever we are doing, supply chain and infrastructure. In a few minutes, I'm going to move to the next slide. Okay. So what are the things that we're going to be looking at in this? Okay, so we need to make sure that our infrastructure, because at the end of the day, whatever thing that you're building, is going to is going to stay somewhere. Okay, it's going to have infrastructure. If it's an application, you're going to run it somewhere. Okay, so we need to make sure that AI security is embedded in our infrastructure and our dependencies. Okay. Now, as you all know, that AI systems, they rely on many parts: model, API, and data set. So if one part of your infrastructure is compromised, now the whole system will be at risk, whether it's the data, and most importantly, data set. Okay. So I think one is not more than the other, but the truth about it is, once your data set is compromised, it's a lot of risk for you. Okay, so we'll make sure that you always take a look at everything, because the whole thing will make up your infrastructure. If one is a fake ingredients in the recipe, let's put it like this. Now we are from West Africa. I don't know where you're watching this from or where you'll be watching this from. You know that Senegal has their own kind of jollof rice. You go to Ghana, they're very proud about their jollof rice, and we own as well. Now, if one ingredient is missing from your jollof, no, it's not going to be jollof rice anymore. Okay, so you don't want to cook concussion, you want to cook jollof rice. So that's how these things are. Okay, so once one part is missing or something wrong goes there, it pollutes the whole thing. Okay, so we need to ensure integrity checks. Okay, we need to make sure that the packages are signed and everything is verified from all the sources. Okay, now let's take a look at another very important aspect of this topic. Okay, defense in depth. Okay, so give me a minute. Let me just quickly move to the next slide as I'll be touching on defense in depth. Yes. Now, if you're coming from the Azure side of things, you know that in your AZ100, now AZ900, this is they always when we're starting out, they always emphasize on this. Okay. Now, also in your AI system is going to be the same thing. Okay. Now, I remember then one of the examples I used to learn then was that, okay, so a system in the cloud is like a piece of onions. Okay. Now, when you're looking at an onions, you first of all look at the back peel. Okay. So the purple crispy part. Now, you peel the first one, you peel the second layer until you see your data in the middle. Now, if you go pick up an onions right now, you start peeling it, you meet something in the middle. Okay. So that is how your AI system should be. Like an onions, in the middle part, when you peel the onions, it's your data. But in this particular case, we're not talking about normal cloud system. We're talking about AI controls. Okay, so your AI controls is in the middle. Now, this approach is what is known as defense in depth. Now, we can also look at it as a medieval castle. Now, if you're watching, we can look at this as a castle. Now, you know that in every castle, the first thing you meet is the fence. Okay, the strong iron, the strong walled fence. Okay, now that fence we'll take it as authentication and authorization for users. Okay, now let's take another example. If you go to Aso Rock as a Nigerian, if you do not have the identity if you don't have the authorization to go there, yes, you'll be bounced at the gate. If you don't have, you need authentication. Okay, authentication and authorization. So if these things are not in place, you will not go through. Okay, so AI systems should have that as the first layer. Okay, as the gate system, as that onions crispy part that you peel away. Now the second thing is security. Okay, security is very, very important. Now if you take a look at a data center, okay, now the first thing you meet in a data center is the fence. Okay, that fence is one layer. Okay, now you know that a data center has it has 24 hours, like 24 hours internet, 24 hours calling. The internet is basically for networking and all that. Okay, so now, yes, now if you take security, yeah, so you even have physical security in a data center. Okay, so you have physical people, physical security, and security embedded into the system. Okay, so also for AI system, the same thing. You need to secure the perimeter, communication channel, and everything. Okay, so you have the network security, the application security, and the yes, the AI controls in the middle. So we should not we should always make that we do not overlook yeah, whenever we are designing for AI, we should always make sure that we make it a layered approach. Okay, make security an layered approach is the way to go for AI systems. Okay, yes, I'm going to be talking. Let's go to the next slide and see what we have. Okay. Okay. So as you can from my slide, clearly, threat scenario. Okay. Threat scenario demo. How would a threat typically happen in an AI system? You have an attacker on one side. You have your ChatGPT or your AI system in the middle, and API key on the other side. Okay. Now, just give me a minute. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Okay. Give me a minute. Okay. So a malicious prompt tricks the AI into revealing the API key. Okay. So from the slide, you see, yes, whatever the bad guy is trying to do is trying to make sure that you should reveal the key. Now, do you know what can be done to prevent someone from revealing your key? Okay, so proper token validation and least privilege. It's what can make someone, okay, that is trying to extract your API key so that they will get access. That's what can prevent this. Okay, so yeah. So if I'm to ask, yeah, so proper token validation and least privilege. You know what least privilege is? Least privilege is now if you're watching this meeting and you have ever used Azure systems, or you've ever created anything, any infrastructure in Azure, you know, at the end of the day, you need to go to access control, create a role assignment, and give that. If you don't give role to whosoever needs to do anything that they need to do, they will be denied. Okay, so the way to prevent a bad actor from taking your API key is yes, least privilege. Okay, you make sure that there is yeah, token validation. Okay, so the token expires. Okay, that's why JWT is good. Okay, so if I was building something right now and the people are going to access, and maybe I anticipate that bad actors would want to attack it, I would make sure that I wrap one of the layers with this, so that whoever is trying to get there, whatever he needs to do expires even before he gets the access. But if he can get the full privilege to do whatever he needs to do, then he has the access. Then he has whatever access he needs to get. Okay, so let me go to the next slide and see what is there. Okay. Yes. Okay. So earlier in the other slide, I talked about token validation, and I briefly talked about JSON web tokens. Okay, JWT tokens. Now they are compiled URL safe means of retrieving claims to be transferred between two parties. Okay, so if you want to do something, you want to get the code. A code example is what you're seeing on the screen. Now, one thing I'd like you to know is that this is the first time that you're coming across all things. Don't worry about the code. You'll be fine. Okay. Now, what are the components in the key validation components? Okay, the token audience, who the token is intended for, who wants to use the token. Okay, so who wants to use the token? Token issuer, who issued the token. Let's verify if it's a trusted authority. Then the token, like I said earlier on, needs to expire. When the token expires, and we should prevent replay attack. Okay. Yes, common vulnerability is blind passed through. So when we forward token without validation, attackers can reuse and manipulate them. Okay, so we should make sure that whatever that when we issue tokens, we should take into consideration. I would make sure that they're not reused. Okay, so that someone does not take it and mess up whatever I'm working on. So let's move to the next slide. So this is a very popular concept in cloud computing that so if you already have the basics and so least privilege, you already know, grant users and system the minimum necessary permission. Now, another very, very easy popular example that I will use, let's assume everyone here works, because I know that we all earn income and we fend for our families. Okay, so now in your company there are different categories of people. There is the IT administrators, because your systems, your system a weather app does not need to access your inbox. Okay, so now if you give a weather app the access to your inbox, you're doing a very wrong thing. So now we need to introduce what they call role-based access and scoped tokens. Now this prevents overexposure when one component is compromised. Okay, so if you go and give a weather app the permission to your inbox, when that weather app is compromised, the weather app can retrieve anything that you're doing. Now there was this application that I was using. Now I don't need to use it again. I only need it for that time. And they were asking me I should grant them access to my camera. I was like, what? Why should I grant you access to my camera and my messages? Yeah, my camera, my messages, and they were asking for too many permissions. Okay, so I knew that I would not use them anymore. So yes, I ignored that message. Okay, I ignored that message. I uninstalled the application. So now giving them that permission would be granting excess over permission, which is what these examples that we're talking about, is talking about. So like you see from my screen, giving a janitor a master key to the entire building would, it's all said in the slide. I'm going to move to the next slide. So that we'll see. Okay, so what are some of these? Secure session management. So what are the best practices for this? Number one, random unpredictable session IDs. Okay, so we should prevent brute force or guessing attacks. Okay, strict timeouts. Just give me a minute. Okay, so we should always use unique session IDs. Now, don't hard code your session IDs. Okay. If I was making an application, I would randomize it. Okay, I would randomize it so that it changes every time, and I would make sure that you cannot predict the pattern. Okay, so another thing I would do, I would rotate or make the keys expire in activity. Okay, so if you're not using like if you don't log into the browser for like the next 5 minutes, you don't use that link to log into what you're supposed to log in, I'll make sure that it expires. Okay, so which is one good practice that we should use. Now let's imagine a bank teller. Okay, after a few minutes, a bank app session. Okay, after a few minutes, it's it auto log out for safety. Now, so if you remember, I just want you to go back to your bank app. If you I know that if I'm using my bank app, if I do not, it logs out. Okay, so this is a very good practice that we should adopt with our AI systems. Okay, so let's take a look at the next the next part of what we're talking about today, which is monitoring and response. How do we show so how do we show continuous security consciousness? Now, if you're very familiar with Microsoft and everything that they do, you see that Microsoft has a defender for everything. Okay, so there's a defender for VM, there's a defender for everything. Okay, so Microsoft Defender for Cloud, we should always use it. Okay, so it's a comprehensive security tool for cloud environment. It detects unauthorized access attempts. Okay, so if you're building an AI system, you should know that. Yeah, you should know that Microsoft Defender for Cloud would detect anomalies like prompt loop or strange API calls. Now, if your AI suddenly calls external API it never used before, there's a red flag. Okay, so excuse me. Yeah, so if that API is not needed, okay, and all of a sudden your system calls it, your application goes and calls that API, you should know that something is wrong. Okay, so if you use Microsoft Defender for Cloud, it will automatically detect all these kind of things. Okay, we should always make sure that we use automation for alert and response playbook. Okay, so whatever any abnormally is detected, they should send an alert to us and we can quickly know what we are doing. Okay, so I'm going to go to the next the next slide. Compliance and governance, how to tie security to policy and ethics. Okay, give me a minute. Now, so we should clear data use policies. We should establish clear data use policies. Okay, establish clear data use policy for that our application. Okay, now we should establish regulations for data collection, storage, and usage. There should be comprehensive guidelines for for the development of whatever. Follow comprehensive and standard guidelines for AI model development. Don't just do things randomly. Okay, follow a protocol, follow a guideline, and that way you will be safeguarding yourself from bad actors. Now there are emerging regulations that we can follow, like the EU Act and ISO IEC 42001. Those are standards that we can follow for our AI applications. Okay. Now, governance is like law for your AI city. It keeps everyone safe. Now, you'll all agree with me that when there is no law, everyone does whatever they like. So you do not want things to be just random and things to be anyhow. You want to add governance to anything that you're doing. Okay, so let's try to look at the next slide, which talks about supply chain verification, how to secure our code and our dependencies. Just give me a few minutes. Okay, so give me a few minutes. Okay, so for this one, we should pin versions of our dependencies. We should use signed packages. We should scan repository for secrets with GitHub Advanced Security. Now, an example for this is if you trust the wrong package, it's like downloading a free app that steals that secretly steals your data. Like I mentioned earlier on, an application I was using recently, and I knew that I would not need to use that application again. It was asking me access to giving them exclusive permission to read my messages, to take pictures, and so I denied it. Okay, so yeah, we should make sure that we'll follow this practice. Scan repositories for secret, and yeah. Okay, so let's take a look at our next slide. Let's take a look at our next slide, which is AI tools ecosystem. Okay, so as you can see from the screen, Microsoft has given the MCP, which is what brought about the discussion of today. It has an ecosystem of tools that we can use. Now, I mentioned a few earlier on, like Prompt Shield, AI context safety, but there are two that have been added here: GitHub Dependable and Microsoft Defender for cloud apps. Okay, so we should make sure that we automatically scan for alert on vulnerable dependencies, which is normal thing that most DevOps engineers would always build into the pipeline. So if you're a DevOps engineer watching this, you already know this. So now what this is just trying to say is that don't ignore the practices that you're already used to. Follow them and add a little more to it. I think the little extra that you have here is just the prompt sheet and the AI content safety. Now, the AI content safety will filter and monitor your content. Okay. Now, the prompt sheet will block prompt attacks. Okay. Now, as you know, Defender for Cloud, it has everything that will secure a cloud application. Now, what are the takeaways from this meeting today? Okay, so what are the takeaways from this meeting today? So the takeaways from this meeting today, security is layered. Okay, security is layered. And we should not forget our foundational security. Okay, our foundational security is important. Now we should mitigate against AI threats. Okay, we should add governance, like we said earlier on. If you leave a city without having laws to protect it, things will go wrong. So also we need to add governance to our AI application. Now, the security, the defense in your AI application should be layered. Okay, it should be layered. We should have zero trust for anything. Now, AI adds new attack surfaces because if you have a normal application, you want to integrate AI to it. There are new threats, new attack surfaces, and you need to know this. Now, if you add automation to whatever you're doing, it adds some little bit of resilience to whatever application that you're working on. Now, we're going to wrap this up with some questions. Now, yes, so I have the answers. I have the question. Now, what is a prompt injection? It's manipulating AI behavior by crafting malicious input. Now, how does a token pass create its risk? Now, I mentioned this in the lesson. Okay, so forwarding tokens without proper audience and issuer verification. Now, if we name two AI specific controls, now we have prompt shield and the AI filter as safety content. Okay, so what is least privilege and what is zero trust? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think this is it for me. I'm going to be handing it over to Imo. Yes, hello Imo, are you with me? Hello Imo, are you there? Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, thank you for staying true. Okay, so we know that, whatever that we've been doing, whatever that we've been using, we have the host muted my mic. Okay, so whatever that we've been doing, whatever that we've been using, because of AI, there are new threats to it. Okay, so there are new threats to it, and these threats, as we saw from today's lesson, so there are new threats to it. As we saw from today's lesson, we need to add layers of security to whatever AI applications that we have been working on. So I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna pass on to Imo. I hope or two from the session. Okay, that you know that I hope that you know that the principles that you know already from your previous Azure experiences, least privilege, they're not meant to be forgotten. We're just adding extras to it. Okay, so I'm going to be passing the session to Imo. We're done with today's lecture. Now, if you need to read more, we're going to be handing the official MCP security documentation in the chat. Okay, so that you can go through it. But basically, everything in that document is what I've touched on today. Okay, everything in that document is what I've touched on today. So if you need to look at that document, it's in the chat. Okay, yeah, I've dropped it in the chat. Please, Imo, over to you. Thank you very much.
All right, Raphael, thank you for your time today. Can you hear me, Raphael?
Yes, loud
okay,
and clear.
Thank you for your time today. I really appreciate it. So thank you to the community member that joined. It was nice having you join us. Please remember to join us next week. We have another session scheduled for next Friday. So remember to join us. Same time next Friday. The topic will be announced. If you follow us on our LinkedIn and the meetup page, you're going to be aware of the topic before that day. And also, ensure to invite your friends and family to join. And also follow us on our YouTube channel and also LinkedIn. I've already shared those links in our chat. So thank you very much for your time. Bye-bye.